You know what? I have to hit on something I'm really pissed off this morning. The Congress and the Senate. Mitch McConnell's a millionaire. Ted Cruz is well off. Lindsey Graham's got money. Pelosi, Schumer, all those fuckers have money. And they think it's a great deal to give people a lousy $600 stimulus check, no matter if you're married or not, and $300 a week unemployment. They honestly think that's going to help people. When people's rents are like $800-900 for a one-bedroom apartment, and the utilities right now with the wintertime coming is going to be horrendous, they honestly think that's a good deal. Have these motherfucking Republicans and Democrats gone fucking apeshit crazy or what? Oh, it's a good deal. That's the best we can come up with. Okay, I give them credit. They did come up with $1,200. They did come up with $600 in retro to July. Mitch McConnell nixed it. Mitch McConnell is a worthless piece of shit that needs to have his ass kicked somewhere to the curb. And the people of Kentucky still voted him in. Because you know why? McGrath was not a true Democrat. They didn't have a viable person to run against him. But him and Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, Grassley, the other asshole from Wisconsin, Purdue, Loeffler, they all think people can live on $600. $300 unemployment, $600 checks. They're all fucking millionaires. These motherfuckers have lost their fucking minds. I'm being honest. I'm being fucking honest with you. They have lost their fucking minds. Democrats and Republicans. And then Trump has lost his fucking mind. He's going to shut down the military because he won't sign the bill because he wants the 203 stuff. You know, he's a little baby because 203 has been his nemesis because Twitter has been flagging his stuff and everything. Every time he mentions something about the election, they flag it, they flag it, they flag it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, they need to do something more than just flagging his shit. Instagram doesn't even flag it. Facebook doesn't even flag his shit. They just let him post what he wants. And his mega people and like people like Levine and Hannity and all those assholes post whatever they want about the election shit. And just keep pushing the conspiracy night, stuff. About how Biden didn't win the election, how it was taken and all this shit. 54 courts said, no, you don't have nothing here. The Supreme Court said, get the fuck out of our court. Even his 3 stooges that he put in there. Even his 3 stooges he put in the Supreme Court said, fuck you, get out of here. You don't have anything that prove anything. In Tupperville, Tommy Tupperville from Alabama, what a clueless dumb fuck he is. I'm thinking about, challenging the election when I get to the Senate. Oh, Tommy Tupperville, you dumb fucker. Yeah, go ahead and do that, fucker, and see what happens to you. See what happens to you. You are just getting into the Senate. You're nothing to them. They'll chew you up and spit you out, hick boy. Just like Trump. Trump keeps tweeting about the election, about, all this stuff. The election, about how Biden's son needs to go to jail, how, all this shit. not once has he tweeted since the election about COVID-19, the vaccines. He has not even addressed the big hack that happened to the United States by Russia. He has not addressed it. Now, he's the one who's at fault here for this act because he closed down basically a lot of his cybersecurity stuff. He laid a lot of people off. And he had his hands in the cybersecurity shit. He had his own people that he put in there that didn't know shit about cybersecurity. The guy that knew it, he fired. But still, he had his own assholes that he put in there that knew nothing about cybersecurity. His best of the best. He says Russia hacked the election for Biden. I mean, this fucker's, he's lost his mind. I mean, he's totally lost his mind. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He's mentally unstable right now, big time. But he has not addressed the issues about how the U.S. got hacked. I mean, I know more about computers than he knows, than most people know. I mean, he hasn't said nothing to Putin. He has not said anything about anything. Just like the Bounty Gate thing. When Putin was paying the terrorists to kill U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. He never said anything to Putin about that either. I mean, the guy is out of touch with reality big time. He thinks he won the election. I mean, CNN posted a thing yesterday about people in the White House saying that he will not leave the White House. Well, I got news for you. He does not leave the White House. Guess what? Secret Service and U.S. Marshals will handcuff his ass and bring him out. And his family. The other thing I don't understand is, who's going to handle the nuclear football if he's not going to go to the inauguration? That nuclear football stays with him until Biden takes office. What they need to do is set his ass in a chair in the White House and say, fucker, sit here until this is over. You're not going anywhere. It's time to get nasty with this fucker. Because he can't take off with that nuclear football and go to Florida. Nah, it can't happen. It can't get out of D.C. once the inaugural thing starts. So they need the Secret Service and the U.S. Marshals need to set his ass down in the White House, sit down and shut the fuck up. You're staying here until this is done. Get nasty with the motherfucker. It's time to get nasty. Because he cannot be allowed to walk away with that nuclear football in his hands and he's got the code in his pocket. No, that can't be happening. That cannot happen. Because he's unstable. No telling what he could do. As long as he's got that nuclear football and he's got the code, he can wreak havoc around the world, believe me. He can wreak havoc. That's something that no one's thinking about, nuclear football. That follows him every day, wherever he goes. Someone's behind him. You look at someone walking behind him with the briefcase, that's the nuclear football. But these fuckers honestly think $600 stimulus check is going to help someone pay their rent, that $300 a week unemployment to a state like Arizona that will only give you $240 a week if you make the top tier of your income. I have a buddy that's self-employed, okay? He's a gig worker. He's getting $117 a week right now from the state of Arizona. So $300, that's $417. And then on top of that, he's got to pay tax on that. Why don't the federal government Why don't the federal government say, all right, we're going to go ahead and do away with federal tax on unemployment? Why doesn't Doug Ducey say we're going to do away with state tax on unemployment? Because they're greedy little fuckers. They're greedy little fuckers. That's what they are. They don't care about the people of this country. They don't care about the people of this country. $600 stimulus check. Oh my fucking God. $300 unemployment. That is a disgrace. That's a slap in the face of the people of this country. You know that, huh? That's our taxpayers' money. We put that money into the government. Not especially not Trump. He hadn't paid taxes in 18, 20 years. Plus he got a $73 million return. Yeah, he got $73 million back from the government right before he went into office. So how to figure that one out? How did he fucking end up not paying taxes and he still gets $73 million back from him? Fuck yes. We have no Republicans that have the balls. Ted Cruz, he flat out called Ted Cruz's wife ugly. Said Ted Cruz's dad had something to do with Kennedy's killing. Now Ted Cruz is his lapdog and ass kisser. Marco Rubio, the same thing. Little Marco. Marco Rubio's kissing his ass. Lindsey Graham, oh, he's a demagogue. Now Lindsey Graham's kissing his ass. Ron Johnson from Wisconsin, that guy's a disgrace. He's a fucking disgrace. I mean, total disgrace. These fuckers have gone off their rockers thinking that $600 stimulus check is going to help people and $300 a week unemployment is going to help people. I mean, people that work in restaurants are losing their jobs like crazy. They put some kind of funding in there. I think it's like $385 million for restaurants. That won't last too long. That won't last long at all. $385 million for restaurants to prop them up. These fuckers have lost their minds. Democrats and Republicans. $600 for a stimulus check. $300 unemployment. I mean, in Tucson alone, a one-bedroom apartment is going for anywhere from $685 to almost $800 a month. Plus, they add the fucking water and trash, like HSL properties. And that comes out to almost $60 a month. Water, trash, sewer, and gas. Even though they have the gas for the boilers for the hot water, they still charge us for the gas. Because they're greedy fucks. They don't want to give you anything. But that pissed me off this morning. Listen to one Republican, one Democrat on MSNBC with Stephanie Rule this morning. That pissed me off. That set me off. Well, that's the best we could come up with. It's good for the people. $600 is good for the people? $600 is good for the people. One-time check. $300 a week unemployment. That's good for the people. Like I said, $300, my buddy makes $117 with the state of Arizona, $417. You know how much tax they take out each week? $96. Close to $100. Social Security, Medicare. Okay? State and federal tax. $95. So that's $100 he doesn't have. So he's still getting $300, basically. And that's supposed to pay his rent. And his rent's $745 for a one-bedroom apartment here in Tucson. His electric is another thing. That's even if he doesn't use it because it's been cold, he's been using it. He got his bill the other day. He says, God damn, I owe $110 on my electric bill because I used the heater. I said, dude, you should have froze to death, man. I mean, and the Republicans are sitting there, and the Democrats too, like, oh, we got money. We don't have to worry about that shit. We got our money. We're rich motherfuckers. Pelosi, Schumer, Romney, Ted Cruz, McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Ron Johnson, Ted Grassley, Cronin from Texas, and all those little assholes in his Congress that decided they wanted to stand behind Trump and his lawsuit against 4 battleground states where there was no frickin' fraud. They don't realize the shit they got themselves into. Because they can actually be charged with treason for trying to overthrow the federal government, a duly elected election. You know, Doug Duke is all happy. Oh, we got the vaccines here in Phoenix. What the fuck do we have here in Tucson? The middle finger. I haven't looked to see how many vaccines we're going to get here, but it's not going to be the same thing they got in Phoenix. Now, I don't understand why people are having to pay for COVID tests in Florida. Even here in Arizona, people have to pay for COVID tests when they're supposed to be free. You hear it? If you have insurance. What about people that don't have insurance, motherfuckers? That was supposed to be free for them. Someone asked a question last night in a post, is the vaccine going to be free? Well, they're saying it's supposed to be free. It's supposed to be free. They keep saying it's supposed to be free. But knowing Trump and those fuckers, it's not going to be free to people. Watch. You could bill your insurance for it, and then the people that don't have insurance, you could get billed for it. But I was just this morning, $600 for the people. That's even if you're married and you have a kid. But then the good thing is, they'll go up to 3 kids. 3 kids, mind you, 3. So if you have 5 kids, you only get for 3 of them, right? 3 kids, you will get $500 a piece for those 3 kids. So 5, 10, 15, $1,500 plus $600. That's really going to help a family of 4 out. That's really going to help a family of 4 out, you know. And we have no Republicans that can stand up to this fuckers at all. The one person that could stand up to him was John McCain. John would have stood up to him and said, fuck this shit. Do what has to be done. Let's get it done. That's one thing about John McCain. He cared about the people of Arizona. Martha McSally didn't give a shit about anyone. All she worried about is herself. Latching her ass off to Trump, being his ass kisser and his lapdog. That was embarrassing when he got her up on the stage. Martha, get up here, Martha, get up here, Martha. She started shaking her ass. Like, what a disgrace you are, woman. What a disgrace you are. To the people of Tucson, to the people of Arizona. She got her ass kicked in the election by Mark Kelly. And those 2 buffoons in Georgia, if it was anyone else that had done the shit they did, we would have been in jail by now with insider trading information. Martha Stewart went to jail for it. Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading. She spent 6 months in jail for insider trading. And these fuckers are still walking the streets? And they knew what was going on because of the fucking pandemic was coming, and they sold their stocks off? And Perdue, the worst one. He was on the Naval Subcommittee. He sold military stocks. He sold military stocks. And everyone keeps talking about China this, China that. You know, if China wants to fuck the U.S., they can fuck us royally. They own, ready for this? $13 trillion worth of U.S. bonds. 13 trillion in U.S. bonds. They own the fucking U.S. They own the U.S. If you do a property check of skyscrapers in New York, they own 4 of the biggest skyscrapers in New York. Chicago, they own 3 of them. Los Angeles, they own 10 of them. China owns us. I have a buddy that has a dairy farm that was handed down from his great-grandfather to him. This guy grew up in the city, and all of a sudden his great-grandfather died, his grandfather died, his dad died, and all of a sudden he's got this dairy farm in Nebraska. Shit, dude had no idea what the fuck he's doing. He moves out there with his family, he's doing this, and he goes, damn, he goes, I can't sell the milk, because they're not buying it. I said, what are you doing? He goes, I'm dumping it. You're dumping it? What do you mean you're dumping it? I'm dumping it out in the field. I started thinking, what the fuck? Come to find out, you can't sell it because there's a glutton on the... You know? And then you look at Tucson, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's going on in our city? People robbing Circle K's, and I haven't seen them rob a Quick Mart yet. QT. I have not seen them rob a QT yet. But Circle K and 7-Eleven, they're all getting hit. Last night, a QT, a Circle K somewhere in Midtown, no, it was on Speedway. Speedway somewhere. Guy walked in with a machete, and then 3 minutes later, a guy walked in with a sword at fucking Home Depot on Broadway and Cobb, Broadway and Pantano, all right? And he'd done a shoplifting in there, and he was swinging the sword around. Well, it took TPD, you ready for this? 22 minutes to show up. 22 minutes to show up. A guy swinging a sword around in Circle K, in Home Depot. The guy swinging a machete around in Circle K. And as far as domestic violence, it's been up the yin-yang. Last night I laid here, I must have heard at least 5 calls go out for domestic violence. And as cold as it was last night, some asshole was walking down Speedway in the middle of the street at Swan with no clothes on. No clothes on. Flipping out. Only in Tucson this will happen. Only in Tucson. There's been home invasions. There's been 3 of them in the last week. Tucson has gone ape shit crazy. I'm being honest with you. We only have 475 patrol officers. Do you honestly think that can handle a city of almost 900,000 people? No, can't. Can't. People on the east side are bitching about drag racing down on Kolb and Escalante up in that area. On Kolb. They're bitching about people racing on Kolb, and they call the cops and no one shows up. And they talk to the commanders or whatever on the east side, and he says, well, we're doing whatever we can to do. But he's not honest with them because he doesn't tell them he only has so many officers on the street on the east side. East side is Team 4. It goes from River Road down to past the prison, Rita Ranch, all that shit, as far east as it'll go, and all the way to Craycross. Okay? 147 square miles. You know how many officers they have working at night? Take a wild guess. 13 to 14 to 15 officers working at night. That's their shift for the east side. Yeah. Yep. And then I don't know if anyone saw, but the city paid out $2.9 million to the guy that died in police custody on the east side, chasing his abuelita around naked, when he was naked. There was no wrongdoing by the police officers. They followed procedures. What they had to do. Kept spitting on him, you put the spit mask on him. They laid him on his stomach. That was it. It's not their fault he had an enlarged heart or he ingested cocaine. Pima County Medical Examiner said he died from cocaine ingestion and an enlarged heart. Okay, there you go. That's it. That's it. Done. But those 3 officers lost their jobs because Regina Romero got her 2 cents in there saying that they should be punished. They should lose their jobs. They should do this. Now these guys were guys on the force for 10, 11, and 13 years. It's not their fault the guy created his own shithole, that he's done the cocaine and he had an enlarged heart. It's not the officer's fault. And then he kept spitting at him, so they put the spit screen on him. They covered him up with a, blanket. He kept yelling, "I want water, I want." No, you don't give him water because he just spit it right back at you. So the city decides in their infinite wisdom, they're going to give him $2.9 million. $2.9 million. We'll give him $2.9 million. It's it. It's done. So now the city's premiums go up on insurance liability stuff. Same thing with the Regina Romero calling Cicilline a white supremacist, a KKK member, when he went to the blue line in front of the police station. She had no idea that he was not. I've known the guy for 4 years. He's not. He's never been a white supremacist. He has no affiliations with him. But her and Lee said he was a white supremacist. They went on his Facebook page and found a post that was posted. It had the Nazi flag, a gay flag, and an American flag. And the caption said, "We are all one." That's all it said. That was it. I saw it. And she called him a white supremacist. Now the guy can't live in his house because people are making threats on him. Now, the city attorney says there's no lawsuit filed against the city and Regina Romero and Lee, but there is. I went online, I found the lawsuit. He's asking millions and millions of dollars of defamation and everything else. And the city attorney says, "Oh, there's no lawsuit." Fucking quit lying to the people, motherfuckers. You don't realize you can find the information online? Regina, Lee, and the city of Tucson is getting the shit sued out of him by this guy for calling him a white supremacist. But keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. Can you live on $300 a week after they take taxes out? Would $600 do you any good if you have a family of 4 kids and 2 adults? Would $600 help you out if you have a rent of $800? Shit, no, it wouldn't help you. And then we got crazy people running around Tucson. No one's getting them mental health. No one. No one. We got drug addicts running around. I mean, to be honest with you, we can't arrest them because drug abuse is not a crime. Being mentally ill is not a crime. And it doesn't pay to lock them up in the county jail because they'll catch COVID in there. We had 3 prisoners at the federal penitentiary died. Now these guys were, according to the article, they were in there for life. How in the fuck did they get COVID locked up in the prison? How did that happen? Some asshole that came into the prison that works there from outside most probably brought it in and gave it to them. Like I said, this is totally pissed me off. Restaurants and everything. Doug Ducey isn't doing a thing. He's worried about the jobs programs. He's worried about Grover Norquist with the taxes for next year. He's not thinking about waivering the state tax on unemployment. He has not worried about a state mandated mask thing or statewide curfew. He's not going to argue with Pima County for going mandatory for, curfew. But he hasn't said nothing about the city of Tucson. What he doesn't realize, he is ultimately going to be held accountable for the deaths for the people of Tucson, Phoenix, and Arizona that died of COVID. He's going to be held accountable. Just like Noem, DeSantis, the idiot down in Texas. All the Republican governors that did not do anything will be held accountable. Watch. Along with Trump, Pence, and the other assholes that were complicit in that, they're going to be held accountable. They're going to wind up getting charged with negligent homicide. Trump especially, because he kept listening to the interview with Bernstein. Well, I know what it is, but I just don't want to tell the people. I don't want to panic them. What the fuck? You got something that's killing people and you don't want to tell them? You don't want to look bad? And then he goes on TV all the time saying, well, it's going to be gone in 15 days. It's going to be gone in 10 days. We only have so many. He doesn't realize everything he said is on audio and video. It will fuck him so hard up his ass he won't know what happened. Then CNN comes out with a thing that people in the White House have scuttle thrown around to the reporters that he may not leave the White House. Well, the U.S. Marshals and Secret Service will handcuff him and take him out. But here's the one thing I'm worried about. And I don't know if you guys think about this one. The nuclear football. You ever see the guy walking behind him with the briefcase? Military guy? That's the nuclear football. Trump's got the little card that goes in his pocket with the codes on it. Now, if he doesn't go to the inauguration, guess what? Where's the nuclear football at? Is he going to take the nuclear football to Florida? No. Nuclear football does not go to Florida. They need to set his ass down in the White House until this whole thing's over with the nuclear football sitting on the desk and say, you're not going anywhere until this inauguration's over. and you hand that nuclear football over to Biden. That's it. That's the way it's done. When Obama took over from Bush, Bush handed him the nuclear football, and Obama handed it to his guard for it. When Obama was walked out of office, the same thing. He handed it to Trump's guard, and that guy has had it since then. The bottom line is, you cannot let Trump walk out of the White House with that nuclear football. It cannot be done. Because at this point, he's mentally unstable. He's out of touch with reality. He's a threat to the national security. He's a threat to the people of this country. People need to understand that. You cannot walk out that White House with that nuclear football. They need to set his ass down in the White House on a sofa or something and say, sit down, Bubba. You just sit here until it's over. It's time to get nasty with this fucker. He's a little boy in a man's body that wears a diaper and shits on himself. That's basically it. And if you've never seen the video I posted from this bodyguard from The Apprentice, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. It's a real video. The guy flat out says it. Yeah, there was times on The Apprentice he shit on himself. We had to take him in the bathroom and clean him off. He wears diapers. He's been wearing diapers since the 1990s. Because of all the Adderall and cocaine he sucked into his nose with Epstein. So like I said, that pissed me off this morning. $600 and $300, and they think it's a great deal. Well, at least we're getting something for the people. At least you're getting something for the people? Fuck it, I took a drive downtown last night with my buddy Mike. I can't believe everything that's boarded up. The Fox Theater. Everything's boarded up. Restaurants boarded up. What the fuck? And they're going to give us $600 stimulus check and $300 a week unemployment. Great. The motherfuckers that don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about when their next paycheck's coming. They don't have to worry about medical insurance because they're set for life. If you serve one term in the government, one term, 2 years as a senator, 6 years as a 2 years as a congressman, 6 years as a senator, you will walk away with a benefit package that is unmatched by anyone. You will walk away with a pension of almost $200,000. Your kids will walk away with an education that you will not have to pay for. Yeah. So these fuckers are trying to equate themselves to us, the working stiffs. It's a disgrace. It's a total disgrace. Everyone have a good day. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't let yourself become a victim. Wear your mask. Do your social distancing. Abide by the curfew. The curfew is in one place for one thing. For people that don't know any better. That their stupidity and their cluelessness, their uneducated people that think they can just go out and go to 4th Avenue and drink without a mask on, just go bar hopping and all that shit. That's the ones they're worried about, are the assholes that throw big parties at the U of A or anywhere around town and have like 30, 40 people in there. That's the ones they're looking at. They're not worried if you're going to and from work, or you're driving on the street, or you're going to get gas, or you're going to get food, or you're going to a friend's house, or just driving. They're not worried about that shit. They're worried about the assholes that want to walk the streets without a mask on. That's it. That's it. If you can't wear a mask, you can't do your social distancing, you can't do the curfew, then stay the fuck home. Don't go out in public. Because you know what? Protecting you from me and me from you. And another thing, I've been in the Madeira vaccine trials. I will know next week sometime if I had gotten the real thing or the placebo. I'll know sometime next week. So I have to wait for that. Good thing is, if I didn't get it, I can go get it right there on the spot at quality of life. So I'm okay with that. I've been in their trials for the last 4 years. I've had hepatitis, I've had malaria shots, I've had everything. I've tested everything for them. Still kicking. I'm so vaccinated, it's unbelievable. I can go anywhere in the world and shit. Most probably nothing would happen to me. So, everyone have a good day. Take care. Be aware of your surroundings. Bye.